我们讲过了简报的内容跟设计，那今天来谈谈简报的穿着吧。那我跟 Nick 在台上讲课演讲大概不少于上千次，所以今天想要来分享是要穿什么才能让你很舒服的、没有牵挂的在台上展现自己。Hello， 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管双语沟通力的 podcast。我们希望带给大家最实用的沟通工具，包括了成功人士对全球市场的分享、职场英语的技能、跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。Hi, I'm Sherry, founder of Executive Plus. As a language trainer and certified coach, I've trained hundreds of managers from Fortune 500 companies such as Dior, Google, Deloitte, and Yahoo.And
I'm Nick, Director of Communication Strategy at Presentality.I've helped startups raise millions of US dollars in funding and train the executives of publicly listed companies to present on the global stage.
Welcome to the Executive Plus podcast,
where you can take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everyone, welcome back to Executive Plus podcast. Today's episode, going to talk about how to look presentable on stage or on camera, with a few tips and tricks that you can easily implement the next time you need to give a presentation in person or online.
那今天想要分享的这些 tips and tricks 很多是来自我们自己本身的经验，那也有一些也是来自TED Talks 这本书上面，还有我们也会分享，比如说你在做 conference call 的时候，你大概的穿着是要怎么样才会给自己加分的效果。
The first tip that we want to share is actually a little bit counterintuitive, because most people assume that if I'm going to go on stage, like if I'm going to a conference and I'm going to give a talk about a paper or my product, that I want to look my best. So what's the best way to do that? Buy new clothes.
Absolutely. 这个我真的有非常的不好的经验。I remember it was like my first workshop and I was really excited. There are going to be like 40 people watching me. So 我买了一件蛮贵的洋装 But 那天晚上是我第一天穿那个洋装 I loved it, but 我完全不知道那个洋装的厚度或者我能不能 move 因为其实那件洋装也是蛮 restricting So I couldn't really move as much as I like And when you're on stage talking, you really want freedom. You need that freedom. You need to feel comfortable.那我相信每个人都一样，所以 again 我觉得就是不要穿新的衣服，穿你知道你很舒服，让你看起来非常专业的衣服，因为你才知道它的材质。有些衣服呢，它动一动，它会有那种刷刷刷的声音。Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, just like when the clothing is not as soft and then you'll hear that just kind of scraping sound.
It's kind of like sometimes you're wearing ski pants. And when you're walking, 有些裤子会有那种摩擦的声音。You don't want that when you're on stage.
So the idea is actually you should find clothes in your closet that look professional but aren't new.So don't go out and buy a new outfit for several reasons. The one that Sherry just shared being that you may not know how freely you can move in it. It's going to be a little bit stiff. It may make funny noises. But more than that is just when you're in new clothes, like if you haven't washed the clothing a lot of times, it's going to be kind of boxy.Because the fabric hasn't settled yet. And so your movement will look a little bit unnatural because your clothing isn't going to quite follow your body. It's just going to follow whatever shape it was packed in.
Or, things like for women's especially, 如果我们要穿那种上衣是一定要扎在裙子或裤子里面, things that you have to be tucked in. But if it's too short, it will fall out whenever you move your arms. And that's a nightmare.Because you cannot tuck it in front of everyone on the stage. 所以就是 test your clothes. Know that your clothes, your outfit, it's going to last. It's not going to change when you're doing your talk.
Yeah, the only thing that men can maybe get away with is buying a new tie. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's not going to affect your movement in any way. That can be your shiny new piece. But for the most part is either plan way ahead. If you are going to give a big presentation and you do need to change a bit of your wardrobe, don't do it the week before or the day before. Consider getting it quite a while before and break it in. Otherwise, just find what's most professional in your closet and go with that.
Number 2， 那这个呢，我觉得比较少人讲，就是你一定要你的穿着，我觉得比如说现在是秋天好了 ，maybe it's fall. You gotta dress one less layer. 通常这个时候你可能会穿个夹克，或者你可能会穿的一个薄薄的毛衣好了 ，maybe like a very thin sweater. But I would definitely suggest when you're on stage, take off the sweater. Just wear it like a shirt or something. Why? Because when you're on stage, you'll get nervous. When you get nervous, you get hot.
Wearing a few less layers, or if it is a colder season, dress in layers that can be removed.
惨痛的经验，有的时候你穿了自己觉得 Oh, it's gonna be great, new sweater, new jacket, I want to wear. 站上台上 Oh my god, 你開始講話的時候，你動來動去，你一定會開始流汗。You don't want people looking at you sweating. And for men, be careful when you lift up your arms. You're going to see some stain area. 就是腋下那个地方真的要小心一點。
Yeah, a little extra deodorant before you present is never a bad thing.
没錯，因為通常在腋下那個地方你會看到一些 an area of sweat. So you don't want to see that. So one less layer than what you usually wear in that weather.
Our next tip is just keep things very simple. When it comes to your clothing, when it comes to style and color choice, this isn't the red carpet of a movie premiere. You don't need to stand out peacock style. Just keep it simple, keep it clean, and keep it classy.
Now, keep it simple. Simple could be about color or style. So you want people to focus on what you wanted to say, not on your clothes. 这个时候不是一个伸展台，你也不需要觉得说我一定要在这个时候展现我的 unless 你是在一个时尚的产业 但是如果你不是的话，你也不用特别在这个时候展现你 your incredible style because you just want it to be simple. And another thing, try to avoid dangling accessory. Dangling 就是那种会晃的，比如说长的耳环啊，很大的那种 hoops 的耳环，或者是很长的那种项链啊，或者非常长的很坠的那种 scarf. We try not to wear those because a lot of times you're going to be on stage, they're going to give you a mic. 那个麦克风可能是 hooked on your clothes, 或者是可能要挂着啊，还怎么样。但是你在走来走去的时候 your earrings, your necklace or scarf, it might get caught with your mic or with any kind of lines, wires, and you don't want that.
Yeah, or a lot of times with case of scarves, you don't want it to start rubbing against the microphone and muffling what you're saying. It'll sound bad on stage, and it's just something you can avoid in general. So by keeping your clothing style simple, keeping your accessory styles simple, you can avoid running into a lot of these issues. You're not going to rub against the microphone. You're not actually going to bump it out by accident. A lot of these things can just flat out be avoided by simplifying what you're wearing.
Absolutely. 那还有一个就是当你在台上，如果你要带麦克风，尤其是那种 how do you call that?
A lavalier mic.
Lavalier microphone. 就是那种会扣在你的衣领上面那种 microphone. Wear a button-down shirt. That's the best option you have. 那个扣子的衬衫是最好的一个，你最好要穿那个，因为呢，你的那个 mic 就可以正好卡在大概最上面算下来第二个到第三个的那个扣子的中间。Because now a lot of women, 我们可能穿的是一些 blouse. Blouse are very soft, or maybe it's like V-neck. When you hook the mic, 那个 mic 会一直动来动去。It's gonna fall out, or it's gonna like just drapes and really pull down your clothes.You probably don't want that either.
Yeah, you're going to end up from a lowercase v to a capital V neck.
超深 V. 或者是男生有的时候穿很软的那种 T-shirt. If you wear a T-shirt and you have that mic hooked on, it might just make your neckline looking kind of weird.
If the next time that you present is going to be online and not on stage, a lot of these tips still stay true. But there's one key tip that we really want to push through, which is your clothing should be a lot more fitted than if you're on stage. And the reason being is when you're sitting down, all your clothing gets pushed upwards, which means if you're wearing something very loosely fitting, it's going to balloon out and make you look much larger than you actually are because the clothing is not hanging loosely on your body. It's getting pushed up because you're in a sitting position.
Yeah, exactly. 那当然我们做 conference call, 我们的视线只是在人家 not even upper half. I would say sometimes it just like 有的时候是 yeah, chest up area. 所以这个时候如果你穿的是很 loose fitted clothing, 你会看起来就是一大片。So that's not what you want on a screen. So what you want is to wear something more fitted. 就是比較合身的，不用緊身，就是合身的就好。Now, another tip is that, sometimes when you go on this like webinar or like conference call with a lot of people, you want to stand out. This time, you can just wear something like a bold color. Just choose one bold color. 你可以喜歡是, red or, yeah, something that you're comfortable with. One bold color and just wear a button-down shirt in that particular color that will make you stand out from the room of 20, 30 people.
For more online conference call fashion tips, you can check out our Facebook. Sherry has already made an online conference call guide for women. Mm-hmm. And in the near future, we will come out with the online conference call clothing guide for men. We hope that this helps, and we hope that you look sharp in your next conference call. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
如果你喜欢我们的 podcast, 欢迎来追踪我们的主管英文 Executive Plus 的 Facebook. 那也可以写信到我们的信箱yourcareerplus@gmail.com.